Good evening. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's nice to see everybody here tonight. We have roll call completed.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Moving on then, resolve the Board of Education approve the agenda for the June 2nd, 2025 regular Board of Education meeting. John? Second. Wayne? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. And now, one of the highlight of the meeting is our student and staff spotlight. And Tom Bull and Joe, you have the floor.
Well, I will start. Mr. Bull is having way over from the other room. So we're excited this evening to recognize our students and staff. We're going to first begin with our student spotlight. And I'm going to ask Mr. Baldwinsville to come on up. And Dan English, come on up. So we're here to recognize our Bees Indoor Drumline for winning the gold medal in first place score at the New York State Percussion Circuit State Championships this past spring, winter spring. Congratulations. Mr. Cole's going to give the certificates to each of you if you could come up when your name is called, and then have Mr. Leanderstow read your names.
All right, Joshua Anson. There are a lot of names, so let's hold a pause until we get everybody up here. Anna Artis, Vincent Bagging, Leah Bahamonde, Alyssa Bellinger, Ryan Bellinger, Evan Bracey, Chase Brumbaugh, Jackson Brendan, Leon Cotton, Brian Kyler, Ian Duffy, Zoe Fortune, Calvin Fortune, Christopher Fox, Bruce Franz, William Gifford, Jacob Gill, Isaac Goss, Margaret Hibbard, Julian Hill, Jason Hotchkiss, Angelos Ioannidis, Jack Jones, Aiden McKellier, Max Miller, Caitlin Mosick, Alex Nobles, Caden Pakin, Liam Pilata, Michael Person, Ray Quiros, Lily Reynolds, Elizabeth Rotella, Nora Scales, Aiden Scott, Karina Sheard, Ruth Taylor, Mason Truex, Casey Williams, Levi Williams. Anybody that did get called? This is about half the drum line work. It's good that not everyone was here. While we're doing that, can we have the parents that helped this year stand up and be recognized, please?
We're going to try to squeeze together for Mrs. Buckshot Move forward.
If you want a
Yeah,
picture,
everyone
come on
come
up
forward.
front. Feel free to come up front. We'll get a picture.
I definitely need to see more faces.
Hey, Brian.
Can I have you come up closer?
Slide really.
I want to see everyone over here in the glasses. Can you come over next to Dr. Barber? Okay. And then can you, Calvin, can you come over here? Perfect. That's perfect. Squeeze over just a little more. Just stay. Squeeze over that way. And then, can I have you come around? You cool with that? Yeah. There's some places. Okay, I know there's a lot of parents behind me, but everyone's gonna look just at me. I got like one more.
Good.
All right, parents.
You got it? Thanks, guys. Congrats.
Congrats, guys.
Continuing on with our student spotlight, we are excited to recognize two student teams from Rain News. They've been, they both, one took first place, the other one took second place in the school promo category at the Student Television Network Spring Nationals 2025 competition. We're going to have Mrs. Brunette actually show our first place video. So if you just direct your attention to the screen. If I could please have Emma and Delaney, if you could come on up. Congratulations, awesome job. And while they're standing here, we're going to show the second place video. Piper and Colin could make their way up here. So while they're handing those out, I will say that winning an STN award or recognition is certainly something to be proud of, and I know we're all excited to see what this is going to lead to when they make it to Baker News a few years when they're at Baker High School. So exciting things to come for sure. We're glad that you're getting the experience right now as Ray students. So congratulations to all four of you.
Can you hold it for a second? Thank you. Okay, hold for one more, please.
Your turn, parents, your turn.
Mr. Ashworth, get up here.
Oh, that's
That's
my
right.
bad.
That's all right. Yeah, jump in there. Yes.
Good? Okay, we'll move on to our staff spotlight. We're going to first begin with Emily Hayes, who is our district treasurer. Emily, come on down. And we'll have Tiffany Turner, our assistant superintendent for management services, join us too. So Emily is being recognized for her dedicated work to our business department and our district, and for receiving the Trailblazer Innovation Award from the Association of School Business Officials. Emily was nominated by our Assistant Superintendent for Management Services, Tiffany Turner, and our Central Treasurer, Megan Karasinski. Here's an excerpt from their nomination. District Treasurer Emily Hayes was notified on March 28th that she had been awarded the ASBO New York State Trailblazer Innovation Award. This award recognizes the exceptional contributions of a school business official who has demonstrated groundbreaking creativity and ingenuity in school finance and management to benefit their district, BOCES, and our community. Awarded for a transformative initiative undertaken in the past 18 months, the accolade celebrates the recipient's innovative solutions and practices that have significantly elevated the effectiveness and overall advancement of education, learning, or financial management. Emily, as the recipient, will receive a donation of $1,500 in her name to support this initiative. Megan Karasinski, the district accountant, and Tiffany, as I mentioned, nominated her, and here is a little bit of an excerpt from what she's done. She was specifically being nominated for her work in our accounts payable and payroll. Through Emily's work, 94% of the district's $135 million budget is now paid through electronic payments, making things much more efficient and effective. Emily has created partnerships with the district banking institutions. The district is now in a better protected place against fraud with our P-Card program, allowing the district one-time virtual card encrypted payments, along with the use of ACH payments to our district vendors. This initiative has also generated revenue for the district with its purchasing card program. Emily continues to seek efficiencies that allow the district to focus more funds on our instructional program, which is why we're out here. We're very grateful for all of Emily's efforts. Congratulations, Emily.
Thank you.
Our last recognition of staff is going to go to Kelly Kenna. Kelly, come on up. And I don't see, is Michelle Sieber here? That's okay. So Kelly is a special education teacher at C.W. Baker High School, and she's being recognized for going above and beyond for her students and for creating a positive and nurturing environment for her colleagues and the broader school community. She was nominated by Michelle Sieber, who is one of our speech language pathologists. And here's an excerpt from Michelle's nomination. I'm honored to nominate Kelly Kenna for the staff recognition due to her exceptional dedication, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the success of every student she serves. Mrs. Kenna constantly goes above and beyond to meet the diverse and complex needs of students with disabilities. She creates a classroom environment that is inclusive, nurturing, and supportive, one where each student feels seen, valued, and capable of growth. Her patience and positivity inspire not only the students, but also colleagues who witness her talent every day. Mrs. Kenna plays a vital role in the broader school community. She is a trusted collaborator among staff, always willing to offer guidance, share resources, and advocate for equity in education. Her positive impact reaches far beyond the classroom and helps foster a culture of empathy and excellence within our school. Simply put, Mrs. Kennett embodies what it means to be a dedicated and transformative educator. Her passion, resilience, and unwavering belief in the potential of every student deserves to be recognized and celebrated. Congratulations, Kelly.
Thank you.
Before most of you make your way out, I do want to recognize a few of our board members. We have some certificates here. Each year, the New York State School Boards Association recognizes board members for completing professional development training. As most of you probably know, being on the board, they don't get paid. They do this to volunteer their time and effort and energy in supporting all of our students and staff across the district. And so for them to engage in professional development, to improve their craft is certainly important, and it helps to make the full board functioning at the highest level, which ultimately impacts all of our schools. And so we're grateful for their dedication. This year we are recognizing board members that have reached level 1 and level 2 status. And we'll first begin with Mr. Andrew Tempe, who is receiving level 2 Board Excellence Award. Congratulations. Next, we have Mr. Gazowski. Who is receiving level 2 Board Excellence Award. And then we have reaching level 1 status, Don Miller. And last but certainly not least, also reaching level 2 level, Wayne Davidson.
Congratulations, Zach. That's mine.
And I have one more special recognition. And then we're good. Each year, we also recognize our outgoing Board of Education members. And this year, we only have one, because it's our student ex officio member. So on behalf of the Board of Education and district leadership, we are giving you a little gift to take with you off to college, and hopefully you enjoy it, and we appreciate everything that you've done for the board, for the district, your input. It's been extremely helpful as the board's made decisions and district leadership's made decisions over the course of the year. So thank you so much for everything. We wish you well and look forward to seeing you cross the stage in a couple of weeks. Congratulations.
For a picture? I was going to say, how does she get to not stand up and get pictures?
As we take this last picture, I want to just thank the students and the staff, and especially the parents for coming. And we will get to the business meeting right after this, so please feel free to go do other things if you have anything to do. And I will tell you, this is the best part of the meeting already, so you're not going to miss much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Congratulations.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go without that.
She was just focusing.
I was just checking the light. Next up this way.
He still takes a little bit to get going.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for all your help. No, I was just looking for former student.
Okay, beginning with the business portion of the meeting. The first thing is the Baldwinsville School District Budget and Board of Education election results. And we don't confirm these results, we wanted to note them, and we wanted to especially thank the community for their ongoing support. Certainly, the school could not be where it is. We could not plan for the future as the community has helped us. And if you want excellent education, you need to support it, and our community has certainly done that. So we really appreciate it, and we thank each and every person who not voted. Thank you. Then we have correspondence, activities, and committee reports. Of course, we had the public hearing on May 19th, the budget vote we just noted, and there was one omission here. On May 28th, there was quite an event at the high school where many of the seniors did budgeting. And I know that Sam Schraven knows about this because she was helping those students budget. Sam, you want to talk about that event?
Sure, it was an event that the seniors do every year it's a real world experience for them. I can't say enough how polite the kids were. They were and asked great questions. They were so into it and they were willing to share what they were going to do next year at school and how this was going to help them. And it was just a great experience, not only for them, but for Victor and I.
Yeah. So a big shout out to Sydney Federal Credit Union, who brought a lot of volunteers, several of them from Sydney, which is not an easy drive, and they put this on. And then we had some staff. Chris came and volunteered. Tony Cardamone came and volunteered. I know Renee was there for a while, but certainly, and I think he was there for a while. Also, I think Kate DeBarbery and who from the high school organized this a little bit? Big teachers? Okay. But it was a great event, and I will say, I was impressed that the kids weren't like just spending money like crazy. They seemed very responsible. So it's a good thing. And then May 29th was the Central New York School Boards Association dinner. And I know we had some representation there. Who wants to talk about that? The dinner.
I could talk about it. Right, Sam? And then you. So yeah, it was interesting. It was an opportunity to get together with board members and administrators from different districts around Central New York. They had a variety of speakers from Albany that sort of mostly told us what they're doing in terms of what they're in charge of. Maybe a few different ideas for what they're thinking about for the upcoming year. And then they gave away, or they recognized 3 different board members from different regions, and they gave 2 short speeches and 1 really long speech. But it was an opportunity for I think folks to get together that are doing the hard work that we're doing, and so it was appreciated. Anybody want to add anything else? Good, Sam. Joe.
Okay, and then we just now attended the retiree reception, and we have how many hours of service retired?
600, if my math is correct, 686 years of total service to this district from all of our retirees. So amazing.
32 people.
again, just we appreciate our staff so much, and a lot of, they said a lot of great things about the kids. Of course, I'm sure the kids say a lot of great things about them. And I'm reminded one time of reading Chicken Soup for the Teacher's Soul, and it gave a bunch of stories. And one of the points it brought home was even though teachers often know how they've helped some kids, most of the time they don't. The kids never get around to telling them that this was reminiscence from kids, sometimes kids who had these teachers that meant so much to them. So these people have done a lot of good, and we certainly appreciate it. And I guess with that, I'll just say, is there anything else on the upcoming that anybody wants to talk about, or anything else we've missed? We might note that the band represented us very well in the parade on Friday, although I better be careful I get into EB stuff and I'll get in trouble, but anyway. Okay, anything else? Moving on then, Evie, you have the floor.
Right, so we talked about the band, we already know about that, so I'm gonna skip that part. But an interesting thing was the Spanish final for Spanish 4 students. It wasn't the APPLE exam, it was a new format. And there were some hiccups along the way, but it seemed to actually turn out really well. It's a lot shorter and a lot more concise. You're not actually losing any testing material, but it's just a more practical way of testing, and so far, it's the first year doing it. And I believe it's only Mrs. Sewell's class, but they really liked it so far. And along with testing, Regencies are starting soon. A lot of kids are studying for that. I mean, I look around and I don't have to study for Regencies. I'm like, wow, that was me last year. Like that was an awful time. But after taking APs, Regencies are a lot easier, and you know, kids know that. And after or during the incident, I think last week with the Chromebook, there was an AP test going on at that time, but that has been made up, and they've been rewarded with going on a field trip to Flamingo Bowl, so everyone's happy. Furthermore, there was an art show, and the students' art pieces were lined up along like the library hall, and it was really interesting to see because their names were, this took me forever to catch on, but their names were actually decorated on the walls instead of just written out on plaques. And they're creative. Like there's some huge 3D pieces. It was really cool, and all the digital art and stuff. It was really amazing. For sports, semifinals and semi-sectionals and sectionals pretty much are over now. Some great successes in tennis. Baseball, flag football, and softball made to semifinals, didn't quite get past, but we got it next year. And flag football, tomorrow, there's a really cool thing they're doing. It's conjoined games with other schools where the senior students are gonna all meet up and they're gonna mix up the teams and they're gonna play against each other that way. And I think that's a really great way to just share skill, because this is a pretty new sport, but everyone already has their little knack. Like schools are already known for doing something, and that way you can kind of share and help us all go together instead of just being rooted against each other for years to come. Gym requirements for like in terms of construction, something we learned was that if you are participating in 2 or more sports, then you, from my understanding, do not have to take gym class. Obviously that can change from now to then, but that kind of brings up the discussion of B time again, because if you are an athlete, which a lot of students are, you now have this extra period. And so that's where B time kind of becomes more like conversation again, because do they need an extra 20 minutes in addition to time they already have? So that's something that a lot of students are talking with their counselors about as they maybe like tweak their schedules a little bit. Another big topic is the new cell phone policy next year and how that's gonna go on. I think people are jumping to conclusions, but I think it's really important that they know what happens first before they just assume things. Because right now it's not really set in stone. Like there's a lot of stuff next year happening that's not set in stone, which is fine, but I think we need to calm down a little bit. We're getting ahead of ourselves as students. A really great thing was this past Friday was Wellness Day. And it was a little different this year because to help students stay in school, one, it was day football. and so the seniors had to stay. And then 2, it was just the last 2 periods of the day, so the schedules were modified a little bit, so the classes were shorter, and that way you still had class time, so if you miss school, you're missing instruction. And that way they can have, you know, a little bit of fun at the end of the day, so still represent wellness day. And one of the things that the student leaders are talking about is tweaking it even more to maybe have just 1 activity next year instead of 2, so that you can enjoy what you're doing for a long period of time instead of 2 like shorter activities. And in terms of ball, before ball on Friday, the mock DWI was outstanding. I mean, we've all seen it from the window of science rooms, so that the students actually got to experience it. And it was a little different too because it was 2 parts, so you got to see it out in the back lot, the actual scene, and all the police officers and everything do their job, and it was really cool to see it like real live. And then we went to the auditorium where we had like a mock court case and what would happen to that student, and then the student gave a poem. And it was really quite touching, and everyone took it really seriously, which was good to see that, you know, we can be responsible in that kind of situation. And then lastly, ball and KBR was fantastic. It was an outstanding turnout. It was ball was at the on center, KBR was in the school, and I don't know what KBR was last year, but from what I've heard from the senior class, it was really successful this year. And thank you so much for your donations. It was such an outstanding night, and the whole community kind of brought it together. It was really outstanding, and people were writing notes and saying thank you. We are really appreciative, and we want them to know that. Thank you.
That's wonderful, thank you, great report. By the way, I did hear that there was a problem at KBR that they had blackjack dealers that really didn't know what they were doing. Is that true?
Yeah, so I was dealing Texas Hold'em,
Oh.
and yeah, a couple of the blackjack tables kind of, they got a little rough.
I thought you were dealing blackjacks, what I heard.
No, I'm a straight poker guy.
Okay. I see. Okay, maybe, thank you. Next we have, we always like to hear from the public. But we do ask them to limit their comments. Do we have any requests to speak tonight?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. We will move on. And with that, we resolve the Board of Education approve the consent agenda pursuant to the attached. Tom, Christie, and rather lengthy agenda, although I will say a lot of this is agreements that we do year after year after year. So it's nothing new, it's just more length than usual. It's that time of year. Any questions or discussions on the consent agenda?
I just had a quick question on the University of Albany contract. I know for the OCC contract, our students can take the course for free and even repeat it for free. I wasn't sure the University of Albany. I was just curious whether we have to pay for that or.
Yes, so because it's for Latin, the University of Albany is the closest university that offers a college credit now course. So there is a charge for that for our students. I want to say it's just a little bit over $200 for that course.
And that is consistent to SUNY Oswego, who also offers Spanish and French through the university, and there is a fee for that as well. It is only the community college courses currently that have the dual enrollment reciprocity with the district where it's covered.
Good question. Anything else on? Okay, hearing no discussion, proceed to vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's carried.
So at this time, we want to congratulate Chris Van Koor for his promotion to Director of Facilities 3.
Okay, then the next item is first reading of a social studies book. So it's a book for 9th grade social studies, race, ethnicity, gender, and class. And the text is available, and I went to the office, I picked it up. Andrew, you've reviewed it, you wanna, any comments on it at all?
So I had the opportunity to review it as well. When I first looked at the cover, I was a little bit like, what are we doing? Got to scan the book a little bit, understood that it fits exactly what you're talking about. I have just passed that book on to Wayne, so if we could rotate that out before the second reading, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I found the same thing, don't Renee?
I also have copies, so I can certainly lend that out too, so it'll be, it's not as nice as that one, mine's a little torn up. But, if there were any other questions about the text, I would be happy to answer those.
Okay, so thank you.
And my only comment to this is going to be utilized for an elective course at, through our 9 through 12 program, which you'll see the next item on the agenda, which talks about the course name title change for this, so that we're very clear as to what it is that this elective course means when students and parents register students to take that course.
Good point, it is an elective, so not a core course. And I did the same as Andrew said, found the book very objective, it's almost like a history lesson.
Yeah, the text is written, from the perspective of a sociologist. So when they look through the lens of these issues, it's very academic and, it's historical in terms of the discussion. So when I think about this placement along with the Global One and the pre-AP World courses that the students are taking, the concepts I think are going to allow students to go a little bit deeper into not just what happened, because I think a lot of times in Global One, that's a 2-year course, right? Or Global One and Global Two, it's a 2-year course. So there's a lot of information. So it's not about just what happens, but why it happened, who it happened to, and some of the reasons around that and how those issues can be addressed, I think, on a deeper level. So I think it's going to be very helpful for students.
Quick procedural question, when's the second reading?
July?
July 14th at the reorg. Yeah, so there's plenty of time for the rest of the board to peruse.
Okay, so everybody should have a chance, 2 copies available, so if you want to look at it, obviously talk to Wayne, talk to Renee. I think then we'll move on to, the next item is resolve Board of Education approve the course revision / name change for contemporary world issues, which is, this is the text 4, to lived experiences, intersectionality in society, and that's pursuant to the attached. Do I have a motion?
So,
Andrew?
second.
Got Christie? And then, I guess any discussion on that? I do think this is a better description.
Yeah, just a quick question, is the course title tied to the text somehow, or is there kind of a road? It's gonna be this name for the course, no matter which text we choose.
Correct.
Correct.
Any thoughts, discussions, questions? Okay, we'll move to vote. Those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Now, the next one, this is gonna be a roll call vote, but because anytime we do a bond resolution, remember it has to be a roll call. Resolve the Board of Education approve the bond resolution for the purchase authorization for student transportation vehicles for the Baldwinsville Central School District pursuant to the attached. Need a motion first. Luke? Wayne? And of course, this is to put into effect what was approved at our budget vote, right? Okay. Any questions on that or any discussion? Okay. Clerk?
Thomas Bull,
Aye.
Jeremy Kelly's not here, Wayne Davison Jr.,
Aye.
Luke Kozowski,
Yes.
Victor Jenkins,
Yes.
Andrew Henty,
Yes.
Donald Miller,
Aye.
Christina Pavetto,
Yes.
and Carrie Schrader.
Yes.
Thank you.
motion obviously carries. Next order, item D, resolve the Board of Education approve the awards of contracts for the 2023 $63.9 million capital improvement project for special inspection testing and asbestos air monitoring pursuant to the attached and contingent upon successful completion of contracts. Motion, please. Don? Sam? And discussion, maybe, Tiffany, you're probably best able to give us a short summary.
Yeah, so with the $63 million project, we went out with our RFP for air monitoring and other environmental testing. We received 3 bids for each, so 6 bids total, and these were the lowest responsible bidders.
And we do know that these are capable contractors?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, both Chase has done reference checks and has worked with these companies before.
Okay. Questions, thoughts? Proceed to vote then. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And moving on to E, resolve Board of Education approve bid number 406, automotive supplies pursuant to the attached. Christie? Luke? And this is the same thing, we've dealt with these people, this is the lowest bidders. I assume, Tiffany, I think that we do this every year, so.
Yes, we do. This is a rebid of the filters from the auto supplies bid.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other discussion, questions? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And next, a nice one. Resolve Board of Education accept the donation from Annals Angels pursuant to the attached. Don? Tom? And they are giving us a check for $100, and the purpose, this was to fund something.
Save a Life Tour, which students will experience. So this is certainly a very generous donation, and we will make sure that we thank the Annals for this donation upon board acceptance.
Yes. Thank you, and questions?
What is a brief description of this there, like, if this would benefit the students, is this?
Yeah, so the money goes to this program, which is similar to the mock DWI Save a Life program. Talks about, actually, did you attend it?
Is it the simulator?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys attended it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're better off than me.
It was a simulator in the gym where they had 2 cars with a wheel and a pedal and gas moving, and one of them was regular driving, and the other one was as a drunk driver. And then it would see your reaction time, like the reality of it, so you can actually sit in that person's shoes and experience it without actually having to.
Perfect, thank you.
That's interesting. Wow. Okay, thoughts, questions? Ready to vote then? Those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. And G, resolve Board of Education approve the district's universal pre-K plan for 2025-2026 school year pursuant to the attached. Luke? Wayne? And is there any, I guess the question would be, any changes?
Just dates, times, that's basically about it. It's consistent to the plan that we utilized last year. We need this in place so that we stay in compliance, especially with our community partners. It helps us to ensure that students that are attending universal pre-K in those UPK partner sites are getting the same instruction that students within our district schools are getting.
Okay.
And did I read that we were able to accommodate all students that want to participate?
Yes, this year, all of our UPK students without a lottery, that's always a good thing. So we're happy about that, yes.
What is that enrollment number, do you know offhand, or?
looking at Danielle in the
I
audience.
believe it was 234.
234, so 234
That's great.
UPK students.
Are there more slots open?
We do have some slots available if students move into the district, and we'll monitor that over the course of the next several months.
Okay, well, good news there, that's nice, okay. Other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So motion's carried. And next on the agenda is our round table. And I think, Joe, you have the information on the exit survey, I believe,
Yes,
right?
yep, so the clean version is posted there for the public to view the exit poll. Obviously, as mentioned earlier, we had great community support with our budget. You can see similar results in the exit poll. A lot of positive feedback with regard to the things that we're doing. The board specifically asked for community members to respond to the property tax exemption for senior citizens, and so I believe it's page 11, which Renee will scroll to for those attending through Zoom. You'll see that the response that of the 142 people that did respond, which is more, this is the most we've had for an exit poll in quite some time. So we're pleased with that. You will see that 82% or 115 were in favor of the exemption and ultimately looking at adjusting the threshold. And then you'll see that there were 7% that weren't in favor, and there was 12% or 17 individuals that indicated they needed some additional information. So I know the board's received some emails after the budget vote, and what we've been communicating to folks, Tiffany's received a few emails as well, that over the course of the next several months prior to the next budget cycle, that we'll continue to, contemplate whether adjustments are made to that income threshold for the senior citizens and disability exemption.
So I think we kind of anticipated at one point that we'd take this up in the September timeframe. And just remember, we just have to make a decision before March 1, 2026 to have it in effect for 2026. So we will, obviously, since we have more information, plan on doing that. And I don't know, anybody else have thoughts?
I just think as we obviously plan the agenda as a more serious conversation and moving towards actually taking action. I think it was Don from the county that came. I would be interested to see just now, if we're looking to move forward with it, how much. I know there was a range and most districts don't do the full max, but just to kind of give us an idea of what the overall impact would be for everybody, I think. I don't know if we have those numbers already, I can't remember, but just really refine that so we can make a good decision for the community.
We do have some of that information. Interesting fact, I don't know who is replaced or who will be replacing Mr. Weber at the county, because he is going to be employed by a school district effective July 1. So we'll work to figure out who that person is and who can get us that information. I mean, that certainly is a loss there, because he, provided a lot of great information for area schools when it comes to the exemptions across the board. So, but we'll get you that information.
Thank you.
Joe, it would be nice to see, I think, if we could see it in increments, so maybe a 5,000 increment, a 10,000 increment, and so on and so forth, projected out maybe 5 years.
Yep, we can do that. We'll make sure that we get that information broken down.
And what were the emails Tiffany was receiving? Were they just questions about what we're doing, or?
So actually, did it go to the, or just maybe went to you and me? We did receive an email over the weekend, it was Friday. It was regarding the exemptions, and it was asking, because the person went and spoke to the town assessor, who was giving information indicating that it was the school that makes those determinations. And what Tiffany so kindly responded back with was the fact that the district hasn't changed anything. The board's, you know, looking at potential adjustments. What has changed over the last 2 years is the way the county is taking into consideration income with IRAs and other means of retirement savings. And so that's where, you know, the information wasn't, it was kind of like a, let's point the finger in one direction, and we tried to provide updated factual information for the community member. And so we shared the fact that questions will, or comments and discussion will be ongoing, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to move forward. But I can put that in the Friday letter too, to exchange for the board.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Joe's saying, what he's saying is, in the past, it was based on their income. And now, their IRAs and some of their other things get factored into their income. So it's gonna change what their annual income is gonna be, which is something they hadn't done in the past.
So the end result would be, we should, if anything, raise the level of income.
Yes.
People have.
Right, and the net effect of that could actually be to end up with fewer people eligible.
Yes. That would be it.
I just have a question on one of the other slides. What influenced your decision on Proposition 2? I think it was about the buses, and the biggest word was electric buses. Do we have any idea what was, is that because we didn't have electric buses?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the sense that I received, you know, when you kind of trace back. But we did have individuals that obviously were interested in us still pursuing that. And that might be something, as we learn more, I mean, it's been all over the news recently. In fact, I was home for a few minutes between meetings today before this meeting, and it was all plastered on local SYR and CNY Central about school buses and electric buses, and somebody's trying. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously the legislature and the governor changed the law as it stands right now, and is given some grace period with two-year exemptions where we can push things out for 4 years total. So over the next several years, hopefully we get some additional information, because it doesn't seem like anybody in Central New York is jumping into the electric school buses yet.
And my guess is that a big part of that is because we're not allowed to build new school buildings, so our bus routes are getting shorter, we're getting warmer. And so the physics sort of make the decision.
So I wonder if the public understands what the current law is. I wonder, maybe that should be a hive, or should at least be on our website, because did they move it out from 2027? Did they move it out? They moved it out, and then they gave you two-year extensions, so you could get to 2035, I think.
Total, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning the hive. I wanted to just mention something. The question about what is the best source of information,
Yeah.
you know, almost 80% answered the district newsletter, and my neighborhood does not get the district newsletter. I think anybody that's out of the 13027 zip code does not get a copy of the newsletter. So I just wanted to
thank you,
bring
because
that up.
we can check on that, because it should be going. We do have some zip codes that are outside of the 13027, but we can make sure that that list gets updated. It really should be going to any of our eligible voters within the school community. We have about 25,000 eligible voters.
So, anything on the one side of 57, Christie does not get that. On this side, they do.
Yep. So we'll check. You don't get by chance get the Liverpool?
I sometimes get the Liverpool.
Interesting. Okay. We will.
Not all the time.
Yeah, we will have Sarah look into that. for us. And the only other thing I will say about Hive is we do post the Hive electronically on the website, and we blast that out in my school communications, so hopefully, I mean, yes, people want it in print, but we have a lot of folks that prefer the electronic version as opposed to getting the mailed copy.
Joe, what was the percent of the people that used our QR code versus who filled that out manually? You had told me that, and I can't remember. It's like 80%?
I'm looking at Danielle. Most people filled it out manually.
75% were paper.
75% were paper, which is a shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was just easier for people to
They
just
were
do
there.
that right there, and they didn't want to log on to the computer, even though the computer was set up. But one nice thing about the QR code is that if people vote and then they go off to work, and then they're sitting there during a work break, they have the ability to scan that QR code and complete. We kept the survey open for 24 hours.
It's actually, though, not terribly surprising if you look at the breakdown of participation. Do you currently have children in the district? From those numbers, you can deduce that the average age of people who turned out to vote is fairly high. Just based on where the kids are and the status. My children are graduates, and I don't have kids in the district. You can ascertain some things from that. It's not terribly accurate, but you can definitely say that the average age is higher than, you know.
Any more questions, thoughts on that? So the next item, we kind of tossed around a little bit, but we talked about doing a board retreat, but we haven't set a topic that we want to cover. I'm not sure if you have some thoughts. If you have some, certainly would entertain them, or we can wait and we can do it at the work session and toss around. But we have an opportunity to do a retreat and try to have like a joint education. And I mean, anything from special education opportunities to leadership qualities to a more cohesive board, which we sure need that sometimes. But I mean, and of course, New York State school boards will do that for you if you want, but there's a lot of different opportunities to go out and get any type of speaker, educator, and do a retreat that you think might benefit everyone. Okay? And if you have a suggestion, we'll certainly note it, but otherwise, please keep that thought.
Has there been anything at any of like the superintendent conference days or the professional development days that would be beneficial for us to kind of go through that any of you guys have experienced, like any of the presentations, anything like that?
I'm looking at Renee.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, we've been focusing on, the science of reading, and
We did that with the board.
done that with the board. Project-based learning, we've done that with the board. We're really trying to be consistent. I always say that assessment, right, grading is always an issue. That might be something that can be really messy that you can dig your teeth into for sure.
And I think, Vic, were we talking or someone brought up, like academic goals or to focus more on some of that data and stuff as well?
Yeah, and I think that probably is gonna go in our
Work session.
Our self-evaluation and our district goals, yeah, or our board and district goals. But yeah, yes.
That'll be on the 16th.
I like that you brought up educations and special education or opportunities for special education students. I think that's a phenomenal topic to really dive into. But I also think that we can all kind of think on it and maybe at the workshop figure a topic or two that we could do.
Maybe, when we get more information on who would be commissioned, the graduate, or could have graduate, might be something we could get to.
some information from the state on the portrait of the graduate. They said by the end of the school year, so sometimes that can mean 2 or 3 months after the end of the school year. So hopefully we'll have something, more information soon.
If we did our job like that, we don't do it.
Okay, if that is, hold your thoughts and we will continue. And I guess with that, we're ready for resolve Board of Education into executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons and matters leading to demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person. Don? Luke? Those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Take 5 minutes and go into exec.